You're talking about the healing process. That is what this is the next phase, other than searching for the flag bearer, the vice presidential candidate. The other one is the healing process. You made mention of the fact that you guys were afraid that the party chairman was not going to, may not have shown up in the party primaries, which he was chairman. What was the depth of his own bitterness that made you people so worried that he might not have shown up? And the second part of the question is, what is the healing process? Those people who lost, Amechi, the vice president, and so on, there's still some wounds that need to be healed. Actually, you talked about Ahmed Lawan licking his wounds. You're going to do that. But first, address the issue of what was the extent of Abdullahi Adamu's pains and bitterness that you guys were afraid he might not show up in the primaries.
No, that, to be honest with you, nobody told us. He also never said that. He also never said, I'm not going to show up. But we look at what happened the night before. We look at the fact that we as governors were not very, very fair to him. We were having our own meeting of the PGF, and then after our meeting, the idea was that we were going to meet with the working committee. And then when we went to meet with the National Working Committee, he wasn't there. We still met. You understand that? So that part we felt we were not very fair to him. After that, we went to his house. Then we met him. And it was not a very palatable meeting. He was upset, understandably, because we had a meeting at the headquarters without him being there, with his members of the working committee. So when we realized what happened, it was based on that we now rushed and then got back to him, because we began to think probably he was upset, and other people say probably he might not show up if we continue in this direction. But nobody informed us that he was not showing up. He also never said to anybody that he was not showing up. So I wanted to clear that part. It's just our fear that probably somebody in that kind of situation with anger, that things were done unfair to him, will not show up. So that's why we did that. Now, coming back to all the issues that you say were leading, to the problems. You know what happened? The governors also felt slighted that we were not carried along in some decisions that were being carried out about all this zoning and no zoning and this and that. So there were problems, really, to be honest with you. So for the fact that I said we came out of all these problems to the position where we are, that's good. Now, you mentioned the very important part about the healing process. I happen to be the chairman of the Media and Publicity Committee. Our role actually extends about the unity of the party. That's what we preach. We kept preaching unity of the party. We felt very strongly that we could have a backlash. And so part of our job, we extended it to this healing process. And that's the reason why I'm so happy that I was part of the groups that will go from one place to another to this person that we believe were slighted. And to be honest with you, that's it. And it will continue. I think the party is the party's responsibility. So the party will take it over from us and continue with this healing process, because it is very, very important. Yes, there are people who will feel highly slighted, but I also join in pleading with them to understand the positions of everybody else, because in politics, everyone has his own mind, and you have to respect that.
And how will this healing process now, be conditioned into the other critical stage, which is, picking a suitable vice presidential candidate now to run alongside Asiwaju Tinubu? What will be the factors that all you critical stakeholders will be looking at?
You ask a vital question. When Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu came to Nasarawa, he came to Lafia actually to see us in a very big gathering where we were having a meeting. And I was brave enough to tell him, I say, Asiwaju, I'm begging you in the name of God, do not rush in making up your mind about who will be your vice president. Wait, because certain things will likely happen, and then decisions will have to be made. Because if you rush and promise anybody that this is what will happen, then you will get yourself in a trap, depending on the outcome of the convention. And you know, he looked at small me and said, Nasarawa, I'm promising you, I have not selected anybody. You know, that's what he said in a public. If you have the video, you can have it. So this is what happens. And this is exactly what I was afraid of because of this. So right now, the decision will no longer be his alone, because so many other factors will come in. And you can understand clearly, I'm not one of the factors, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a first-time governor going for second term. But we have a lot of second-term governors, you know. We have a lot of aspirants who will feel slighted. We have a lot of, you know, so all those things will come into the play. And more importantly, you have Mr. President. You know, Mr. President worked very hard in being part and parcel of this party. So you can't kick him out of this, even though he's leaving. But we are hoping that he will leave, and he is only living, you know, not in spirit. That way, we will continue to refer to him. You know, so for that reason, you can't set him out of this. So that is the reason why I said that, and I'm happy he actually responded that way. And this is going to be the process. It is going to be a long process, you know, before you can select that, because you have to look at so many factors altogether and decide.
All right, talking about the issue of factors, of course, we know the role that religion, ethnic and region plays in some of these variables that, you know, build up how decision or outputs of political decisions are made. Now, we remember in 1993, during the Abiola Tofa time, where there were Muslim tickets and everybody was okay with it because Nigerians were so desperate to leave the military era, and there was no problem. At this point, of course, some questions are coming here and there. People are asking questions here and there regarding what is going to look like. Of course, you said we shouldn't rush into it, but how concerned are you and your colleagues, the governors, thinking in the area of how do we balance this in a way that will go down well with Nigerians in the case of a Muslim ticket or a Muslim Christian ticket and so on?
To be honest with you, I don't know. We have people who have far more experience than myself. And then, but the truth of the matter, because I'm usually somebody straight to the point, the truth of the matter is that it was a subject that was discussed as the 12 of us were sitting down there as northern governors and looking at this. It was a factor that came up. And there were debates, and people bear their minds, you know, exactly this is what it is, that is what it is, this is, you know. So for that reason, you know, it's an issue. But as I said, it's a process. So these issues will be discussed. People will look at the pros and the cons of it. You know, and then, like you said, you know, all this idea about you are trying to bring whatever will be acceptable, you know, to Nigerians will also become a factor. So at the end of the day, the decision that is best, I think, for the party and for Nigeria will be taken.